Welcome to Cameroon!
We want you home. We want you guys to come back. I mean, don't you guys want them to come back? Of course, we all want them to come back.
Y'all don't have to say it, y'all.
We have that in America. Okay? I mean, our government is special.
So I'm going to send that question back to you. What do you guys think about us, African Americans?
So what we were taught
Yes.
back in the States, the honest truth, what we were taught is that you are
Or has there been any major challenges or things that you would have wished that were done differently or maybe rightly or wrongly or something like? Is there any, like, what do you have to say about your experience here?
the airport
The airport.
is draining. It
Yes.
brings anxiety. Ooh, the French. Ooh, that's
Yeah, so I don't know how
That's-
people are
that's-
cooking. What do you guys think about
Ooh.
the French?
I mean, I think it's
Like, are you guys
beautiful.
cooking?
I think it's beautiful that y'all speak French.
And how are you coping with
We're
the French?
we're struggling bad.
American.
Yeah.
How do y'all feel about us? What have y'all heard about us?
To be honest with you, I think that the impression we have about you guys is that you guys see yourself more of like Americans than Africans, than Africa. You see what I'm saying? Like you feel like you're more of the Americans than you are the Africa. I've seen a very few percentage of you guys want to relate with us. You know, sometimes they even prefer to relate with the Caribbean than to relate with the Africans. And that's why if you look at it from a very holistic point of view, you see that the amount of influx or the people encouraged or motivated to take trips like this does not match the number of African Americans out there. So I'm gonna send that question back to you. What do you guys think about us, African Americans?
So what we were taught
Yes.
back in the States, the honest truth, what we were taught is that you all didn't like us, that you didn't really want us to come back. We were even taught that that you all call, and this is general,
Yes.
you know, Africa is a huge continent,
Yes.
in general, that we were called loose balls. And so we didn't really want to come back because, you know what I'm saying, because of the fear. But we have so many content creators, travelers that are coming over from the diaspora
Yes.
that are just dispelling that whole myth,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying, which has been a blessing for us because now most of us have been to multiple continents, countries on the continent. That has helped so much. It has also, my goal as an educator is to bridge the gap with the babies.
Okay, yes.
So, you know, where I'm at a school, K through 8, it's 99% African American. And so I show them everything when I'm in Africa, everything, so that they can see it. And then they hear you all talk and they're like, that's my people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's huge for them because here I am, I'm 51, and I just started coming to the continent at 49. So much time missed, you know what I'm saying? Now, I believe, I'm a spiritual person, so I believe that the Most High
Yes.
had it for such a time as this, you know what I'm saying? I believe it was perfect timing, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm thankful, I'm humble, you know what I'm saying? And I felt nothing but love since I've been here. So, all of that is kind of out the window as far as y'all not welcoming us. But I do know that there is just the language barrier sometimes causes, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're like, that's them, you know, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
But once we all realize that we're all the same people, it makes a difference.
All right.
That's what I think.
All right. And the next question I have for you is, and I'm just trying to ask this question so that it can be better for other people who want to come. Now, so far, and you said you've been to other countries, so far, has there been anything that any way you've been treated that you didn't like, or has there been any major challenges or things that you would have wished that were done differently or maybe rightly or wrongly or something like? Is there any, like, what do you have to say about your experience here?
The airport
The airport.
is draining. It
Yes.
brings anxiety
Okay.
because, you know, our passport being blue and having the eagle on the front, United States of America, we're automatically just looked at as foreigners.
Okay.
And we're treated as such.
Okay.
And it's hurtful because a lot of times we come here and we're excited about coming,
Yes.
and then that's our first impression, our first encounter.
Yes.
So when we come with a group, we feel like safer almost.
Yes.
Because we have more people to kind of rely on. We have strength in numbers.
Yes.
But to come by ourselves would give us some hesitation
Okay.
because that's our first impression.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like if that was an easier process, you know what I'm saying? We know for safety reasons we still have to go through a process. There has to be a process.
Yeah.
However, it can be, we're coming home.
Yes.
You don't treat people who are coming home, coming
Yeah.
to your home, like they're second class. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
So that makes a huge difference.
All right. I'm so happy about that airport comment because fortunately I'm actually linked with a lot of high authorities at the airport, and I feel like this is a very good point for me to take back to them and tell them that they have to loosen up the process. We're not talking about them not doing the security part of it, but other parts they have to loosen it up and make sure that it's comfortable for you guys to come in. I don't know if you've been to a lot of the Caribbean countries. I've traveled a lot, and I know that getting through the airport is usually it's way easier than here.
Oh yeah, I've been to the Bahamas.
To the Bahamas,
Right, yeah.
exactly. Like it's way easier than here. So that part of it, we have to work on that. And then other than the airport, in the country as a whole, has there been any way that you've been treated that you didn't like? Because you see, people tend to have a negative tendency, which I am against. I mean, and this happens all over the world, where whenever they notice the presence of foreigners, they want to take advantage sometimes of the pricing. Sometimes things like tourists have all the money in the world. And I tell people that, you know what? Sometimes tourists have to save for like 2, 3, 4 years to make this trip. So some of you guys, sometimes technically you're even more better off than them. And sometimes there are things like price hike and people trying to take advantage. Has there been any of such experience so far?
I mean, I think that's part of the shopping.
Yeah, oh yes, the shopping experience.
You just got to know how to bargain. We have that in New York a lot, you know what I'm saying? So you got to know how to, you got to go back and forth. Mm-hmm. Some people like that challenge. I kind of do too.
Okay.
So I feel like they'd be like, 5,000. I'll be like, 25. They'd be like, no, 5. Take it. You know what I'm saying? So I like that part of that whole process. I enjoy it. Some people don't.
Okay.
We don't have money like that, like you said. I think the way you put that was perfect when you said that some of us have saved up for some time to get here. You know what I'm saying? So we don't have the money to just shop or just give you everything. And I think people look at us as Black Americans like we have a lot of money.
Yes, exactly.
No. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We selling kidneys and kids and stuff to get over here. You know what I'm saying? We're making a way to get over here. You know what I'm saying? And so we can enjoy ourselves. But I don't like when we're looked at like we have a whole bunch of money.
Yes.
Because that's not true.
That's
not true. Some of us have more than others. We get that. You know what I'm saying? That's just life. But don't treat us like, because I think media has portrayed America. They portrayed this false idea of America. America has struggling parts too in America. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so they show the part that looks great. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And everybody feels that when we come, that we're part of that great, that economic, you know what I'm saying? Economic, high ladder. But no, everybody's not like that. So treat us like y'all treat each other. Give us the same, rate. I mean, because number one thing for sure, we want to invest in the country. We want to invest in the continent.
Yes.
So we can't if we feeling like we're being taken advantage of. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We can't, because we're feeling like we just want to just get somewhere and just sit in a safer place.
Now, talking about investment in the country, do you think that for African Americans, if they had that medium in the US, that can help sensitize them or tell them about procedures of investment in the US, such that once they're coming here, everything is already set for them? Do you think that a platform like that would be easier, or do you think it would be more challenging for them to just come in here and want to invest and then they're trying to figure out everything from here? See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't like purchasing something that I haven't seen. I need to see.
Not really like purchasing it. For instance, I'm talking about like sensitization and education. For instance, if you want to do like an investment, let's say a business, if you have somebody in the US, or if you have a platform in the US where they tell you about what does it take to register a business in Cameroon as a foreigner, or the procedures and all that, and you're already sensitized about those business procedures and all that, such that when you're coming to Cameroon, you already know, you have an idea of how things are being run, rather than for you to come in here and then you're trying to figure out how things are being run. I feel like that's more stressful. So
well, it's all about trust. It's all about trust. So we have to feel like we can trust.
Yes.
as Americans.
Yes.
And I can honestly say, just for me,
Yes.
I'm only speaking for me, I don't trust easily.
That's correct.
You know what I'm saying? So once I feel like I can trust you, I can do business from the States. I don't have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I just purchased land in Ghana.
Oh wow.
And I mean, I've been to Ghana,
Yes.
but I don't really have a visual of where that land is at.
Yes.
But I've been to Ghana, I've been around people in Ghana, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
The person that I purchased the land through, I trust, you know what I'm saying? So that's what we're about, is trust. And we want to know that our money is going to be used to benefit the people.
That's correct.
Period.
That's
You know what
correct.
I'm
That's
saying?
correct. That's
So,
correct.
yeah.
And I'm really happy
Okay,
that
I'm sorry, I stopped.
That's okay.
That's why, sorry. I'm really happy that people like you, you're trying to do things that will benefit the people. Because, for instance, myself, I'm a clinician. I hope you the rest of Kentucky.
Okay.
So, of recent, I started building a hospital.
Oh.
It's
All right, what y'all do now?
yes, the hospital actually was supposed to launch in March, but because of one or two government procedures delays from the angle of the government, we are hoping that we should be able to get a document somewhere in May, and we'll be able to launch the hospital. And to me, I see it as America has done a lot for me. I got all of my educations in America.
Okay.
I went to school then. I got my admissions to Harvard and Johns Hopkins, but to do public health. And then at some point, I'm like, you know what, I have to come back and give back. That's why I was at the hospital and all that. So when I hear about people like you wanting to help or benefit society, honestly, I'm really, really impressed. I don't know about you guys. Do you guys have any question for her? Or
Well, actually,
Well, I'm sorry, before you do that,
yes,
I had a comment.
yes,
I wanted to piggyback off of what she said as far as Black Americans coming here.
yes,
Our culture in America, a lot of Black Americans, when you say they're going on vacation, they're going to travel,
yes,
they'll go to Europe,
yes.
they'll
Dubai.
go to the islands.
Yes,
I would say for the most part, when you see us here,
yes,
or in Ghana,
Yes.
or in Egypt, in different places, we purpose to be here. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because this is not the typical place that a Black American will come to vacation to learn.
Yes.
So it's just as much time away and time off for us as it is education.
yes,
And so we purpose to be here. And so when she was speaking earlier about being in the airport and different things where when we save our money and we purpose to be here, we get here and we're met with not as the excitement that we have coming here, it's a little disheartening because we're excited to be here and we want you all to be as excited to have us.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
yes, yes, yes.
And so that part, if you don't understand your purpose, it'll damper you a little bit, but we understand our purpose for being here is to meet and understand and learn because our ancestors came from it. The other thing for me, is the first time I was on the continent, I went to Ghana. And during that trip, I was very angry because of the narrative that we were taught in America. We've been lied to. In America, we have been told that everybody over here lives in a hut, or everybody's hungry and have the stomachs and the,
Yeah.
I mean, this hotel is just as beautiful as any ones that we have in America,
Exactly. Yeah.
or more beautiful,
More beautiful.
right?
Yeah.
And so, what we want to do is to bring the truth back. Like I just sat here and took a picture of my feet and looking at the pool and sending it back to my friends and say, look at this beautiful place that I'm in. You know, I want to go back home and make my friends and family comfortable with the fact that you don't have to take your money to the white people in Europe.
Yes.
You don't have to take your money to the white people or the Arabs in Dubai or
Yes.
wherever. You can come here, give back to our people, and have a beautiful vacation.
Yeah.
But you don't want to do it if we come here and like Renee said, feel like we are being targeted.
yeah,
You all think we're rich, all this thing.
or to be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
We are here because we want to be here. We are here because we have purpose to be here. Because we can be anywhere else, but we're here on purpose.
That's true.
There is a purpose for us being here. And the purpose for us to be here is we want to reconnect. We know this is our home. We know this is our homeland and where our ancestors came from. So we want to come back. We know that when this place was colonized, the intention was that we never came back.
Yes.
And that's why we're here. Because we want to prove all of that wrong. And we want Africans to look at African Americans like family. We're family. Any way you slice it, we are all from the same place. Our path and our the way that we got where we were was just very different. It's unfortunate. It was tragic. It was horrible. But we're back now.
Yes.
And a lot of us are back here because it helps us to heal. You know, we want to know where we're from because even in America, they make us feel a certain way for being there, you know?
Yes.
And so we want to come here because we want to reconnect, we want to know, we want to learn, and we want to feel like you all want us here.
Yes.
And I think that's huge.
And trust me, we really want you guys here. We really want you here. And that's one of the major projects that I've been working on so hard. Like for the past over a year now, we've been constantly creating this content, constantly going to, like the village that I said to her yesterday that we went to, is so remote. We've been constantly going to these places because we want people to see, and we want people to see Africa. And not necessarily think that it's beautiful, it's peaceful, it's calm, it's quiet. We don't want people to think that we all live in a herd. No, my house.
Savages and all that.
Exactly. I told them, I said, my house in where I'm from, my house in Kumba is way more beautiful than the house I live in Kentucky. Way more beautiful.
Right.
We have more beautiful houses there. We drive better cars.
Right.
I mean, if you look on the road, you'll see a lot of nice luxury cars.
Right.
And we are not like we live in a herd.
Yeah. But that's what we've been told.
Which is not.
That's what we've been told as long as we were little. That's all that we see.
There's been a lot of misinformation on the two sides of the transaction.
It has.
Because we were told that at some point in time when you realized the history and everything, you were happy to be where you are and you didn't want to come back.
Yes.
And then we kind of felt like, why weren't we also taken? That's the
Yeah, most of them wish that is very true. That's true.
That's sincere. You know, most of us felt like, why weren't we taken? Because we felt okay, maybe you were there, you got assimilated, and you liked everything, and then you probably looked at us to be because it's not everyone that has your mentality, that has your purpose.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
So there's some people who are like you, but they don't look at it like that.
And that's very true.
So they feel like we're different, although we have the same skin color, the same. Yeah.
But then on the flip side, there are some Africans that don't accept us and embrace us too. Yeah.
So that caused a rift. So many of us back here were like, okay, you stay on your lane, and we stay in our lane. So when you come, we try to get the best out of you.
Right,
it's just like this. It's just like us traveling with Dr. Awah. We kind of like out of that clique. Because we travel around trying to make sure that people have a real perspective, as realistic as possible. We went to the slave trade area at Bimbia and we saw everything that happened. It's all inscribed on the walls. We've done videos about it. And we realized that there's been a lot of lies that have been, told to you, to us, and it caused a lot of division. Our history books are made, they're fake stuff, they're trash stuff.
Trash.
So I really understand you when you're treated very bad at the airport. I don't endorse it, not at all, but I completely understand.
We have that in America.
Yeah.
Okay? Our government is special. We have places in America where you just don't go because the crime is so bad.
Yeah.
And you know that.
I know,
you
yes,
live there.
exactly.
And so it's no different. It's no different when they come with these narratives and I don't want to go because it's the same.
Because
here.
honestly, there are places in Chicago that I feel way so unsafe that I can't I feel so safe being here.
Right.
And there's just places in Chicago where I can't even step my leg in there because I know
right.
and to an extent I'm not trying to go too political. If you look at it, it's very safe in Africa. by the way, the gun laws are so restricted in such a way that we don't. You won't be walking on the street and necessarily worried about somebody shooting you down or something.
Yeah. And
Maybe
we have a big problem with that.
with that, exactly. So we're all
Huge,
exactly.
huge problem.
So I feel like it's so it's a stereotype, and that mentality has to change.
It does.
And it's not going to change supernaturally.
No.
I'm a spiritual person. I'm a pastor per se. So it's not just going to change by some kind of supernatural way.
Right.
There's a way that the narrative has to change, and that's supposed to be with us sensitizing.
And I think, again, going back to what Renee said is so key. Sometimes when you get older and you're set in your ways and you already have this thought in your head, it's hard to train old dogs new tricks, right? Teach old dogs new tricks. So we have to start with the babies. We have to start with the young ones when they're still adventurous, when they're still open-minded, when they're still in a place where they want to learn. That they're like a sponge. They want to just soak it all in. That's when we have to get them and say, okay, let's go over here. Let's go to Africa and spend a few days or a week, so you can see for yourself that it's wonderful.
Now, one thing I've realized is that our curriculum, our history books, to be honest with you, I went to school here all the way through high school. I only got to America and then went to University of Massachusetts at college level. Our curriculum teaches us, one, very little about the African American stories.
Okay.
Which is why I don't get it. Our curriculum is so limited, and then the content is messed up.
Yeah.
It's not the truth.
Right.
So I feel like from all of that, the curriculum has to start changing. We have to modify the curriculums and start teaching us more about African American and start making them know that we are all family.
Right.
To be honest with you, like I don't remember a day in school where the statement of we are all family
Nothing like that.
ever came up.
But a curriculum is designed intentionally to do that.
Yeah.
Because it's set up for separation.
Yes.
So how we learn in America, our history books start out with us on slaves. And slaves. So what that teaches our kids is that there's no beginning before that slave ship.
We don't learn it.
And so when you start out a child telling them that their ancestors were slaves,
And that's all
and
they
then
want.
tell the story before that, then it automatically messes with their psyche. And you have this inferiority.
And that's why you get them wanting to disconnect themselves.
Yes.
Right,
Oh, I see.
But when I went to Ghana and I learned about the kings and the queens and the riches and the things that were here before all of that took place, and we're all descendants of that.
Yes.
Whether you're now in Cameroon or in Egypt or wherever you are in Ghana, wherever you are, we're all descendants of people that were very smart, intelligent people,
Innovators.
innovators.
Yes.
I mean, look at America. We built it.
We did.
Civilization.
They took us over there and we built it.
Right.
You know,
They chose any other group of people. Who did they choose?
they chose the strongest of the strongest of the strongest of the strong.
They knew they was
Yes, because I went to Ghana and I went to Slave River.
Yes.
And Slave River tells the story of how they bathed them and they put the oil on them to be auctioned. And then they went from there to somewhere like Elmina.
Elmina, I've been at Elmina Castle.
And the walk that they had to take. And so if they weren't killed by the animals along the way, then they were taken to these dungeons for months and put in these God forbidden places that I saw, I touched, I smelled, I touched it. And then you're there for months. And then you're put on these ships for months. Then first taken to the islands in South America, because there are more of them enslaved Africans that were taken to South America, and then they came to North America, where we are. And so those of us that are descendants of that were the strongest of the strong, because they took them there to plant. I mean, some of the foods in America. I mean, we come here, it's like, oh, this just like some I tasted. It's the same.
It's the same
thing.
food. Exactly. It's the same
food
food
from here.
from here, like in the Caribbean. It's the same.
It's the same beans and rice. What?
Now, do you guys think that, for instance, because like I'm happy that she mentioned it because that's something I've already started doing in Kentucky. I've been reaching out to principals of schools and reaching out to them and telling them, I want to start having opportunity to come and talk more about Africa to especially, to some of the kids growing up. Because I feel like if we don't instill this kind of values that you guys have, because to be honest with you, not up to 50% of African Americans values that you do in terms of we want to come back home.
Yeah.
In terms of we're connected. Some people are just 100% over there.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that initiatives like going to schools to talk to young kids about changing the narrative, I feel like it's going to have more impact than just sitting there and not doing anything about it.
So for me personally, I think, in America we have this 1 month called Black History Month.
February.
And they and you know, with all due respect, they always want to talk about Dr. King and Rosa Parks and all that. But there's so much more. You gotta go deeper.
That's true.
And so why not take advantage of that time when they give us permission to dig deeper than that? Yes, they were great people. They did tremendous for us as African Americans. But do you ever wonder where they came from and where they came from and where they came from? And let's talk about the origin of everything. And it's fine to talk about Dr. King and all those people that gave their lives so that we can have certain privileges. However, there's a whole nother story that needs to be told. There's a whole nother narrative that our kids need to learn so that when they do their projects and they don't have to go and look up George Washington and do a paper on him. They can come here and do a paper on the prince that we met.
Douala Mangabel or all the other
The prince that we met the other day and you all were talking about investing. The prince that we met the other day that's building the university and what is this? I can't something the third or something.
He has a foundation.
He has a foundation and he is building a beautiful structure and going to have like a university attached to it. That tugged at my heartstrings to the point where I want to invest in that. Because I want my children's children that are going to know that they're descendants of Cameroonians to be able to come here and say, my mom helped build that because she gave money and helped build that. That's what I want my kids and my kids' kids and their kids to be able to come back and see that. That's what I want in my soul. That's what I want. So my kids can be proud and say, yes, we are a part of that. Even though it's on the continent of Africa, we're a part of that. Yes, I want to come here and get money. Yes, I want to come here and maybe live part of the year on this continent so that my kids don't feel like it's taboo or it's something that you should be afraid of.
Exactly.
This is home.
This is home. And I'm really happy that you're loving it. I'm happy that you guys are liking it. And this is open to the three of you guys. Like, you guys, is there anything that we can do on our part to encourage you guys to come back? Like, what can we do extra? I mean, other than the things you mentioned, is there something else we can do to encourage African Americans to come back? We want you home. We want you guys to come back. I mean, don't you guys want them to come back? Of course, we all want them to come back.
Y'all don't have to say it, y'all.
So we don't know if there's something we can do to make you guys come back.
Just like we were talking about earlier, just a softer landing. You know what I'm saying? Because we are used to certain things. Let's be real. It is what it is. So if we could have like where, I don't even know, but just where we already dealt with the airport. But things like okay, for example, stomach tore up. My stomach is tore up. I don't know if it was a little bit upset before I got here, but I don't have anywhere where I can go to grab, you know what I'm saying, we use the Imodium AV. Things like that. So we have access to things like
at the pharmacy.
At the pharmacy, right? That's quick for us to get.
Because I work with Walmart.
You work at Walmart?
I'm working there as part-time pharmacist
See what
at
I'm
Walmart.
saying?
Yes, I work at Walmart pharmacist.
I mean,
No, we're not
don't
asking
bring
y'all to bring Walmart here.
No, I'm not bringing Walmart here.
Walmart
No, definitely not.
We can call it something else.
No,
Let's
no.
make
know
it
where
something.
these
No.
places are,
Yes.
and
Yes.
you feel comfortable.
I am so happy with that because even myself, one as a content creator, and then two as somebody who does streams, I have never heard about this input. That you guys definitely want to have, medications like that accessible to you guys.
that we're familiar with.
That you- yes, that is you're familiar
and
with.
quick and easy to
quick.
be able to get, because that's the main thing. It's a transition for us. It's an
Yes.
adjustment for us. So
Yes.
most of the time we leave so many things at home, or either we overpack
Yes.
and they get charged a bunch of money at the airport because we're trying to bring everything in the house
Yes.
so we can be prepared. So if we had access to things, that would make things a lot easier.
Okay, all right.
That's just a small thing. I'm still processing Ghana from 2 years ago, so I'll still be processing this for a couple more months, if not a year. So you know what I'm saying? It's almost surreal right now that we're here.
Awesome.
I think if it's just communicated
Yes.
here that we're excited about being here, and we want you all to be excited to have us. I think for me that's the big thing. It's like I'm so looking forward. Now let me say this: the people that have been here that we have been interacting with, for the most part, they're like, you are welcome. And that's great, but I think overall the narrative throughout the continent, when African Americans come back, I think that should just be what it is.
Awesome. So do you guys have any questions for them while we round up the interview?
Okay, please, I want to ask about, I know Cameroon is bilingual, we have English and French, and most parties.
Ooh, the French. Ooh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
so I don't know how people are cooking. What do you guys think about
Yeah,
the French?
I mean, I think it's
like, are you guys
beautiful.
speaking
I think it's beautiful that y'all speak French.
And how are you coping with
We're
the French?
We're struggling bad. We are so thankful that you all are bilingual and you speak both. Because in the United States, they don't press upon us to speak anything other than English.
Yeah.
So,
And that's where we need to get better. We should be able to speak, at least enough to get by more than one language. And that is the arrogance of our country. Right?
Because we learn the language. Like, I had to learn French from 5th grade through 12th grade. Now, I say we and je m'appelle Renee, I can say bonjour, and you know what I'm saying? I can say little stuff, but not a lot. And then if somebody's talking to me, I forget everything that I just said.
Right.
So
And in school, we are given a choice to pick a language in our school.
Yes.
So I chose Spanish. Hola, ¿cómo estás? I can do that. But had I known better, I would have picked the language of my people. I would have chosen to speak
language to
French.
communicate with
But
people.
they're not accessible like that because if you go on those language learning programs, they don't have that many
but this is another thing. I feel like if you look at it in Africa, French and English, they are the most widely spoken official languages.
Yes.
Now, when
We know that now.
my wife goes to Kentucky State University, and she's not allowed to take French as a second language. They don't offer it. They offer Spanish.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh, I wish they could offer French. We've even gone there,
Right.
but she went to university here, and she had French transcript. We've even gone there to present, and they're like, no, our curriculum doesn't even accept French. And that's a black school. I don't know if you know about it. Kentucky State University. That's supposed to be a black
And see,
university.
even with
They don't
that,
teach French.
You would think
there's something wrong with that.
There's something wrong with
Because when you come back to the continent,
Yes.
who is speaking Spanish here?
Exactly.
If you speak French,
Yes.
and what other languages do they speak on the continent? Is that
I
pretty much
mean, in terms of official language, they have a lot of dialects.
right?
And in terms of
But-
official languages, if you can speak French and English, you can go all over Africa
And
with
so
this.
our black universities
Yes.
need to offer French.
Yes.
That's just crazy.
Yes.
But the reason why I think that it's like that is because they are U.S. focused.
Yeah.
Yes.
The United States have a lot of Hispanic
Yeah.
population in the United
They
States.
have
So
Germans and they have German and Chinese.
But
They have German and have Chinese.
let's keep it real, okay? It's purposely designed like that because
Yeah.
listen, the white man don't want you to come to Africa. He want to make his fortune in Africa. He wants you to tell Africa is the bottom of the barrel, so you stay away, and he could make his riches in Africa while he's telling you not to come to Africa. So he can get the
Then make the
gold, so he
language
can get the
difficult.
diamonds,
Yeah.
so he can get the minerals.
Yeah.
But it
And you can
seems
stay
like
over
to
there in
me,
America where you've been told that everything is better.
yeah.
So that's why it's designed like that, intentionally and on purpose.
But it
Nothing
seems
was
like to
slipped
me,
through the cracks
at least the
or-
historically black colleges and universities,
Which were also, a
HBCUs,
lot of them
Yes.
were funded by
white people. I understand that. But now that we know better,
Mhm.
they should start offering, if nothing else, French.
Exactly.
So you can come back home
Mhm.
because everybody at HBCU is supposed to be woke, right? And so in touch with their blackness that you should learn. You should know that that's one of the main languages
I mean,
here.
my daughter's like, I don't know the curriculum how it looks like, but my daughter's like, if they want to go like foreign language up, my daughter's like, they're already talking about hola, Spanish.
yes,
and all that.
yes.
I feel like French is like, they don't, I'm not trying to publicize French, but I'm just saying that if this kids needs to come back home and go around places,
Yeah,
you would
we
think
need
they
to
would
have
push
this.
that.
Yes,
Yeah.
so that's something that maybe they have not realized, but we need to push that a little bit. So, any other question?
Actually, it's not really like a question. I just want to say, first of all, I personally am so impressed. I'm so happy, grateful to have this because it changes a lot.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci. Yeah.